Today I have an affordable brand for you that's generating a lot of buzz online, and for good reason. Today let's talk about Banadir Fragrance. Welcome to the Scent Booth with me, Patrick. Today I do have two fragrances from Banadier, and these are just kind of here for illustrative purposes and to talk about some of the features that Banadier is going to offer you as a brand. But really it's not just about the scent profiles today. I want to talk more about the brand and how I think that in 2026 it's really going to be the year for this brand to push through and become even more commonplace in that more affordable segment. Because really I think for dollar to performance, this is really packing a punch. And a lot of brands, I think, are going to see this brand emerging on their radar as a competitor for sure. I do need to preface as well, none of this was sent to me free, or this isn't sponsored, or I'm not being paid to say any of this. This is just my general consensus with these fragrances. And again, I've owned 4 total full 100 ml bottles. So yeah, just for fun, let's spray both of these on. I have 26 and 62, funnily enough. I had a few others, and it was not any problem with the Banadier fragrance itself. It's just more that the scent profile wasn't for me. I'll talk more about that in another segment within this video. But yeah, let's get 26, which is L'Immensité from LV, and 62 is Decision from Amouage. Beautiful scents, not redundant by any means. I'd wear these in different occasions, but they both have a place in my collection, absolutely. I think you can get a coupon code occasionally if you reach out directly to the owner, but it's not really something that's often publicly disclosed. I've never seen people with like an affiliate link or code either, but if you ask nice enough, the owner may give you a code. He seems like a nice person. I've reached out to him a couple times, whether it's asking about a code or just asking when certain fragrances will have their samples back in and such. But that is the first thing I want to talk about. Pretty much at the moment, everything is 100 ml, again for $45 to $50. If you buy more, that'll be more cost effective because you will add on that shipping to each bottle. So it's like, I think $8 or $9. I haven't ordered like 10 bottles at once. Maybe the shipping would go up, obviously, if you ordered that much, but like for 4 bottles, for example, that would be around that $9 to $12 mark. Hard to say with so many things going on in the world and regarding fuel prices. Shipping obviously could vary, but at this time of recording, I can say that it's around that $9 mark. You can get free shipping on Banadier's eBay store page, but again, the pricing is kind of built into the shipping. Each fragrance is basically $5 more on eBay than it would be on the Banadier website. So with that 100 ml bottle, you are getting all extrait de parfum. I will say this has to be the most consistent brand thus far in terms of performance that I've had on every fragrance I've bought. Basically, if you were to know the original of each fragrance and then compare the performance, pretty much 9 times out of 10, if not higher, the fragrance is going to be much better performing for the Banadier. And I like that because it's not taking away from the accuracy and the depth of the profiles. Obviously it could be easy to create a better performing fragrance and then lack the depth of the original fragrances these are interpreting, but that's never the case. Every fragrance I've tried has smelled very close to the original, and I would say I've only bought, other than one that I had sold, all of those I had tried. Yeah, I had tried the original in person at a store. I can say for sure that they are definitely, packing a lot of punch with high oil concentration, mostly focusing on accuracy of the fragrance, but still boosting performance as well. When it comes to the bottle, I will say that price value proposition is again very high because every bottle, there's a few variations. I think there's 3 or 4, but they're all the same shape and have the same details, and they're just different colors. There's like a white translucent one, I think a gold one. So yeah, sorry, only 3. And then this smoky black one. And then all they do is really etch the number on, and then the rest of it, Banadier Fragrance, Extrait de Parfum 100 ml, that's all the same. So really you can tell that the owner is like really focused on putting as much quality into the oil itself. And the bottle is not an afterthought by any means, but it's strategically there to save a little money, especially with economies of scale. And as you may have seen when I was spraying these on the testers, another place where they did that in a smart way is the atomizers. These are some of the best atomizers of any brand, not even including just budget brands. Again, they're only fitting this size of nozzle, 100 ml bottle. And so yeah, that's going to benefit from economies of scale, because at that amount, you know, the difference between pressurized and non-pressurized really isn't that much in terms of, you know, per bottle. And I'm just assuming that the owner really took time in picking a bottle and atomizer and cap that all just fit super well together and really felt cohesive and high quality, but again, only has to buy in bulk one of everything, and it really makes a final product that's, you know, beautiful enough, serves its purpose, but isn't going to be too expensive for the owner. You know, the only argument you could make is like, yeah, every bottle kind of looks the same other than some color variation. But again, I think this is price to value is the main focus of this brand. And yeah, maybe they could change their marketing a little bit in the future. As they continue to get more success, they can maybe upgrade the bottles a little or whatever they want. But I think they're really doing the right thing at this moment in time. And I think the people they're catering to as well in the demographic also don't really mind that too much because of how good the quality of the fragrance is. I just can't stress that enough. That's really the main emphasis, is how well they are executing these fragrances. As I mentioned earlier, there are samples as well. They are at the moment, I believe, 10 milliliters for $10. I think that in itself is such a great price proposition. Generally, you know, for a 10 ml sample, the upcharge is going to be a lot more for a lot of fragrances. And the fact that you can, you know, maybe, yeah, try 10 fragrances and that'd be like about $100, but you know, you can double check which scent profiles you really like, kind of get a taste of everything Banadier does and see if the brand is going to impress you. I guarantee you, you know, within that 10, you're going to find something you like. So I do actually want to buy a 10 ml just because I want to see the experience you get with, you know, the quality of the sample itself, you know, the sprayer, and of course, the quality of the oil is going to be great. So yeah, I think that price proposition for 10 mls is perfect and a great entryway into the brand. If I had to add anything to the brand, I think adding a 30 or 50 ml bottle would be a really nice addition kind of in the middle. Because, you know, that 10 ml to 100 ml is a very big difference in commitment to the fragrance. I think something in the middle at the moment could just create that kind of middle point that some other people may want to enter in. And then again, you know, since it's in the middle, kind of compute the price that you would think is appropriate for a 50 ml. Again, though, that's just a suggestion and the brand is fairly new, so that could already be in the works or something they have in mind. That's just my own feedback that I'm giving off the whim, if you will. And then one last thing to kind of just touch on before I wrap up here is the naming convention of the fragrances. And so if you do go on Banadier's website, you will notice that they actually sell other fragrances from a lot of Middle Eastern houses. Some of those are niche, some of those are like semi-niche, like Ahmed Al-Maghrabi, who does, you know, interpretations as well, but have some original creations. And then you do have stuff like Arabian Oud, which is, you know, very niche, luxury-esque for a Middle Eastern company. So they are kind of a middleman as well for some other fragrances. They have Bakur that you can, you know, burn as incense within your house. They have some samples of, you know, third-party fragrances as well. But again, if you navigate to the website, you're going to see that each of their own fragrances is a number. I believe at the moment they have all the way from 1 to 90. So their naming convention is kind of, if you don't know exactly what fragrance you're looking for, maybe it could be a bit confusing. But, you know, for first timers, it's kind of fun in a way just to go through all the options they have. So again, 1 through 90. So yeah, they have around 90 inspired by fragrances at the moment. They have some tolas as well, you know, the glass rod in a vial that you can put on as well. They do some interpretations of those. Those are great because the price to ml, you know, how concentrated that oil is also very good. I have one of those as well. I just got that to try it out. And then yeah, as I mentioned, they have 10 ml samples. At the moment, they're not up to date on all of their fragrances and having samples for each of them. I did reach out to the owner actually just to ask about that. And yeah, essentially it's just whenever his inventory comes in for travel sprays, you know, how quickly he can fill those up and fulfill the different fragrances. So it is kind of an uphill battle at the moment for him in terms of keeping up with inventory. So that's a great sign. Obviously, a lot of people are catching onto this brand. And again, yeah, every fragrance at the moment that they make, I believe, is an interpretation. Some full 100 ml bottles are likely sold out here and there as well. You might not be able to get every single one. I know that their Blue Talisman inspiration sells out a lot. I've heard really good things about that. Haven't tried it yet. Would likely want to get a 10 ml first of that just because I'm still not sold on the Blue Talisman DNA, but that has nothing to do with Banadier, of course. So just something to keep in mind, you know, I always advocate for sampling. And you know, I bought these 100 ml bottles without sampling the Banadier first. But yeah, if you're really new to the brand and you just want to double check, by all means, I'm gonna, you know, support that decision that you make, because I just want you guys to be happy with all your fragrance purchases. I think that pretty much wraps it up for today. You know, more of a discussion video, more of my kind of theory that this brand's gonna really do well in this next coming year and onward. I think the price proposition is just too good here. Again, you know, I've never seen like really ads running for these fragrances or a heavy emphasis put on their marketing or a budget for the marketing even. So I think that may be a component as to why they're a little under the radar for now, but really by word of mouth, subreddits on Reddit, and just seeing people make reviews online. Like I only knew about it because of Vegas Scents. So slowly but surely, they're just getting more of their, you know, reputation built up through the community. Maybe that was their focus. Yeah, very organic, more personable ways of getting new customers to their fragrances. And yeah, in the long run, that can generally work for a company if, you know, you really have those people who want to support you. And thus far, you know, most people I've seen who've tried these out, it's rarely a miss, at least on the part of what they're delivering. So yeah, again, really great extracts, great sprayer, great bottle. Yeah, 90 fragrances at the moment that they've worked on, more still coming. You know, that's another thing too, you have to check all the time to see what's coming out. They don't really have a way to like remind you. Like even like I've purchased with them a couple times and I don't think I've ever been put on an email list or anything. And I think those are good. You know, those are pros in a lot of ways. I think that's nice with so much saturation of marketing everywhere, constant, nonstop, every day. It's kind of a nice breather in this world, right? And I kind of have a feeling that they know all of this. The company knows all of this. They could be allocating more into these other, you know, marketing facets, but it's cool to see them just do it their way, and I think it's working so far. But yeah, I do really think this brand's gonna blow up in this coming year, and I'll be here for it. You know, I'm excited for them. All right, that's everything I have for you today. Again, definitely check Banadier out. I don't think you'll be disappointed in the slightest. On these two fragrances, you know, L'Immensité, easily 8-9+ hours. A decision is a beast on its own. And, you know, it's already kind of pushing a really high oil concentrate in the original. This just amps it up. I think you're gonna probably get like 12+ hours on skin with Decision, or 62 if you will. But yeah, thanks for your time. Let me know if you try Banadier out or if you already have. And if so, you know, let me know which are your favorites from the brand. Again, I've tried, you know, 4 at the moment, but there are so many that I really want to try. Can't wait to kind of see what they have coming out next. And yeah, you know, maybe I'll start doing reviews, like full in-depth reviews of each fragrance. I've put both of these on some lists that I've made, but I haven't gone fully into them. So that's that's absolutely an option as well. But I think that's good enough for today. I'll see you in another one. Take care.